a woman can do anything.
Including being a misogynist.
Yes, including being misogynist and including being anti-feminist. I absolutely agree with that.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the rookie, the greenhorn, I don't know, Leif, where am I now in season 4?
I'm not sure, but I promise you, this isn't a story for little girls.
Well, I tell you what, I'll leave you with one of my sneakers, and you can come find me where I live.
All right.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fandom moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a room for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a cup of coffee, a mimosa, or see if you can dial up Chuck's dealer, and let's go ahead and get started.
Does Chuck have a dealer in Paris?
He said he's got a guy to get him passports. I'm sure he's got someone who can get him drugs. Probably Prague, too.
Yes.
How far is Prague from Paris?
I mean, it's Europe, so...
It's all like right next to each other in my mind.
I'd probably say it's probably like a 7-hour drive, maybe.
How much by river? For a body, anyway.
Well, no, so they came to Paris to sell the ring because they couldn't. He said they couldn't sell it at their usual house of Prague, so they brought it to Harry Winston.
And then that's why the body. Yeah.
Yeah. And then somehow they got robbed in Paris and shot.
Yeah.
Paris is such a dangerous city. We are here to talk about Season 4, Episode 2, Double Identity. The original air date was September 20th, 2010.
I went into this episode prepared to hate it because I was mad about the Chuck stuff at the end of the first episode of the season, which I thought that was really the only thing I didn't like about it. And then when I saw that we're doing an episode about it, which I knew had to happen, I was prepared not to like this episode.
Yeah, it really is a 2-part premiere.
Yeah, it really is. And it's funny because there was like a 2-part finale and a 2-part premiere. And I kind of wanted to talk about this, that I noticed the end of season 3 was the first season to end solid. Like the last 3 episodes I felt were really good, solid Gossip Girl episodes. Whereas the ends of season 1 and 2 were where things just fell apart. With Georgina coming back after the writer's strike, or the whole Poppy Gabriel storyline that just wasn't holding up to everything else, I thought that this was a strong start after coming off of a strong finish from the previous season.
So the episode title is based on the movie of the same title. Double Identity came out in 2009. In Sofia, Bulgaria in 1992, an American doctor takes a detour in life when he helps a mysterious woman escape from her would-be assailant and becomes a victim of mistaken identity, as seen in the Alfred Hitchcock classic North by Northwest. And it was directed by Dennis Dimster and stars Val Kilmer, Isabella Miko, and Jordan Vodham.
I've never heard of it.
No.
It's interesting to use the exact movie title and not.
Yeah.
Have they done that before?
I believe so. I can't think of an example at the moment, but yeah. I mean, well, Poison Ivy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So this time it was Josh Safran with Sarah Goodman. So last two episodes were Josh Safran with Stephanie Savage.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's writing the New York stuff and the women are writing the Paris stuff.
That makes sense.
And I also wonder I assume, so there's also directed once again by Mark Pisnarski. So I'm guessing he's doing the Paris stuff, and I'm wondering who's directing the New York side.
The New York side, yeah. Because the attention is clearly on Paris.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You're going to need an A team and a B team, and if you're going to have the budget to shoot in Paris, you're going to want to really throw your energy there.
Yeah, definitely. And why don't you go ahead and give us that Vulture recap?
All right. It is a truth universally acknowledged that the second the person who broke your heart appears in front of you looking sorry and pathetic is the second you realize you're completely over them. So it was for Blair in the last night's episode of the greatest show of our time. She's been mooning over Chuck all summer. I hurt all over, she was sobbing just last week, but from the moment she laid eyes on him in Paris, she no longer gave a rat's bass about him. I won't be pulled back into the darkness, she insists, when Serena tells her that she's the only thing that will keep him from changing his name to Jason Bourne and fleeing to Kerala. I've been waiting all summer to feel sparkly again. Fortunately, she realized there's no better way to get said sparkle back than by saying, I don't love you anymore, while looking fabulous in full-length Oscar de la Renta and dripping with Harry Winston, while a chiseled Parisian royal waits curbside. God bless her and the writers for it, not least because this was one less episode of this show to end in a ball.
Indeed. And that was a awesome dress.
Oh my God. And yeah, there's no party of the week. Is this the first episode of Gossip Girl with no... There's supposed to be.
I feel like there's been others. Again, I'm not thinking of an example at the moment, but I feel like there's been one or two.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I mean.
So we get into Act 1 with Gossip Girl's monologue. Summer is coming to a close. As everyone knows, Paris, like the Upper East Side, empties out in August, leaving behind only the tourists and the dreamers, lamenting the imminent return to real life. Blair and Serena are once again chatting at an outdoor cafe in Paris. They discuss Serena's upcoming choice between Dan and Nate, and Blair getting a second date with Prince Louis.
Serena is so fucking Serena in this whole thing of course these guys are just waiting for me. And they kind of are. But especially Nate, whereas Dan is preoccupied. But just this whole, to the point where there's a Gossip Girl pull. I know we're not there yet, but like, it is so like her. I also love how she, throughout the episode, is comparing the two of them, and this is the scene where Blair's like, yes, but Humphrey is the donut.
Yeah. But also, once again, Blair somehow gets a second chance despite failing the Royals' initial test.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
She failed the test. So what's the point of the test?
Right. Yeah. It's a multi-layered test. The first layer is, are you hot?
Yes.
Then the other layers don't necessarily matter.
Serena gets a call from Lily, who tells her about the call she got about Chuck. The Paris police need someone to identify the body that washed up in the river, and Serena is the obvious choice since she's already in Paris.
I kind of really went through my head about this a little bit. That, like, should Serena be the one to identify this body? It would be the quickest and easiest person to. And Lily even says, I will fly out there. This is too much.
Yeah.
So I think that Lily recognizes the weight she's putting on Serena. And I don't know if Serena really recognizes the weight of what she's been asked to do. But I do know that Lily, like she said, she was like, I will fly out there right now if I'm asking too much.
Yeah.
I think it is a lot to put on a 19-year-old, 18, 19-year-old.
Juliet and Nate are recounting the many exploits of Serena while walking down the street. Juliet volunteers as Nate's life coach for 24 hours so he can eliminate Dan as competition for Serena's heart.
Oh, poor dumb Nate. You are so dumb. You are so Nate, and you are so dumb. Oh.
No, reference to Serena dating your stepbrother.
Yes. I loved that. Because, well, and you also, he's unlaying all of this drama on her, and you get the idea that this entire story is being told leading up to this scene, but we as an audience know that she knows all of this. So you wonder when she says, man, if they were related, you got to wonder if that was her trying to just throw out more for him to feed off of. You know, she's very good at playing this slow game with Nate.
But I also, normally exposition can be bad, but for some reason I love when Gossip Girl does the little exposition stuff to lay out how ridiculous their own plots are.
Oh, no, I absolutely agree. I do love how they do that. I also love when they, later in this episode, when they give us a whole backstory on thieves, you know, you're exactly right that when they give us these snippets of how ridiculous this show is, that they
when
know.
You hear it all laid out like that.
Yes, yeah.
Serena meets with a stereotypical French inspector at the morgue to potentially identify Chuck's body.
And even though it's not Chuck, she now has a dead body that she has in her psyche going forward, which is the thing that...
A body that was in water.
Yeah. It's not going to be a pretty sight. When I was 12, I went to an open casket funeral for a scoutmaster, and that fucked me up for years. So, I can't imagine seeing a bloated, washed up corpse.
Yeah.
But then you also have the relief of that's not my stepbrother. One of my stepbrothers. That's the stepbrother I haven't slept with.
Not that he hasn't tried.
And also, I'm just going to throw yet in there because we've still got almost 3 whole seasons left here.
Chuck is in bed with Ava. Ava wants to bone all day, but new Chuck, Henry, is all about being a diligent worker.
Henry Prince. I like I said, I wanted to hate this whole episode because I hated the Henry Prince. But I didn't. I
And the show, once again, wasting a perfect opportunity to let Ed use his real accent for this whole Henry Prince persona.
Yes. Yeah, he took it from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Run an accent, brah. You're hiding out.
Speak naturally.
Yeah. What if he's gotten so bad at his American accent that he no longer can talk in his actual accent either? What if he just doesn't know how to speak anymore?
Oh boy.
Blimey. Because the only British accents he's heard has been people like, the Duke in season 2.
Dan is singing lullabies to Milo at the loft when Nate and Juliet show up. Nate is definitely not a baby guy and immediately passes Milo off to Juliet so Dan and Nate can talk.
What I found really funny about this scene is Dan sitting there singing to the baby and I don't know what the word is, but bouncing the baby and singing to him. And they come in and he gives them to Nate. And Nate's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And Juliet's like, he just needs a woman's touch. But I want to point out that through all of that, that baby's not fussy. not the least bit cranky, fussy.
That's a stage baby.
Yes, and that baby looks very content. Like, that's how you want babies to be all the time. Little coos, little voice, little bit here and there. Yeah, you want that.
Dan and Nate sit down at the kitchen table to chat about Serena. Dan is surprised to hear that Serena's going to Colombia and will be back in the city. When Dan hops up to grab a diaper, Nate sneaks a peek at Dan's phone and sees a text from Serena. Juliet comes out and tosses some gasoline on Nate's fire.
Nate, the way phones work is that when it says new text message, that means they haven't read it yet. That's just how phones work. So take that information with you next time.
Hey, let's just congratulate Nate for being able to actually read the text.
It was under 200 pages. He sounded out all the letters.
Chuck is leaving for work for the day and starts to hobble down the street with his new cane. As Chuck is crossing the street, Blair's car screeches to a halt and the two former lovers lock eyes.
What are we, stopping for pedestrians now?
Run them down.
It was good. And it was a nice moment. And I really like what this moment leads to. And I think the next scene, or a couple scenes from now, when she's with Serena. So I'll comment on that.
I will say the I guess stunt choreography of the scene not great.
Oh no,
because he was nowhere near getting hit.
No, the budget.
It's like the car brakes and then he walks up and like almost walks into the car.
Yeah,
when it's already stopped.
Yeah, they definitely put the budget into getting to Paris, not into the stunts. I do my own stunts.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the first break with, they say it's easy to forget your troubles when the weather's warm, but all it takes is one fall breeze to blow reality right back in your face. Watch out, Blair. He who sows the wind reaps the storm. Act 2 begins. Juliet and Vanessa bring groceries back to the loft. Then Vanessa, aka the baby whisperer, makes a beeline for Milo. Juliet is using Vanessa to take Dan out of the Serena equation, but of course, in a nice way, because Nate doesn't go in for scheming.
Yeah, I liked Vanessa this whole episode. I really had no issue with her, and I like that she's taken on this parental role, or even just not even like parental, like just maybe parental, but this role with Milo, that she is helping Dan with the baby, which really tracks that she's helping her best friend. And when she makes the comment about how when you grow up on a commune, you clock a lot of babysitting hours. So it makes sense that she's good with kids. Mm-hmm. I also kind of thought that, granted, her mom is also garbage, but I feel like maybe Vanessa has the best shot at being a decent mom out of the women on Gossip Girl right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Because she's always the one that's broken away from her mom.
Exactly. She's self-aware.
Yeah.
And she knows that, and she knows that the shit with her mom isn't right. That the shit her mom does isn't right. Mm. So she wants that relationship with a kid. So I do think that she'd probably be the best mom of the Gossip Girl kids.
Yeah, fair. Blair and Serena are discussing the Gossip Girl poll of Nate or Dan, but Serena shifts the conversation to a more serious topic. Serena brings up her trip to the morgue and the fact that Chuck has been missing all summer. Blair says to call off the hounds because she just saw Chuck an hour ago and assumes Chuck is just in Paris stalking her. Serena wants Blair to go talk to Chuck to see if he's all right, but Blair doesn't want to be late for her date.
So this is what I was talking about a second ago, the setup for this scene, where Blair is like, Chuck's fine. No, I saw him. He just limped off afterwards. Like, clearly he's hurt with something. He's walking with a cane, but she's like, it's fine. Like, I saw him. He's fucking fine. Let's get on with this. Let's move on. And honestly, throughout this whole episode, I'm kind of like, yeah, Blair. Like, why are you chasing this guy down? Just let him go, which Blair is so ready to do right now.
Speaking of the cane, why is getting shot in the gut require a cane?
As somebody who walks with a cane, for one, here's what's also funny, is that he walks on the wrong side of the cane. That when you walk with a cane, you don't use it to prop up the side that is weak. You use it to steady the side that is strong, right? So my left leg is weak. I walk with the cane in my right hand because you have it basically, you want the swing of your arm to match the swing of your foot. So I get more support by having my right hand, my left leg forward, and my right leg back. I become a tripod. So that's why you walk with a cane that way. If you're just limping along, you're actually doing your body so much damage because you're misaligning your spine. So like the whole thing just kind of cracked me up. That like also, like you said about getting shot in the gut. I mean, yeah, there's going to be muscle damage or something like that, but a cane that this long after recovery, then he goes and starts working at a shop. You can't be a waiter and have a cane. So yeah, it's just for dramatic purposes.
Speaking of which, yes, Chuck is working at a pub and is literally helping an old man down the steps.
Yes.
Emma comes to take Chuck out on a break, but spooked by seeing Blair, Chuck wants to leave Paris for India. Emma is worried they don't have the money, but Chuck tells her he might have an idea about the finances.
I think I know how we can handle it. No. I know a guy. He's me. Does he have the cane in the rest of the episode? I don't know if he does.
Yeah, he does.
He does? Okay.
He has it at the train station too.
Okay.
Rufus gets off the phone with the doctor who did the paternity test but can't get any more information. Lily is going to the loft to help convert Jenny's old room into a nursery, but Rufus is going to stay at home and pout.
I really loved Lily in this episode.
Yeah.
Rufus is 100% in his right to be skeptical that baby is not Dan's, and has every reason to have Dan get that information for sure. What Rufus is failing to realize is that no matter who that kid came out of, and no matter who fathered that kid, that is a baby who needs love and who needs to be taken care of and who needs to be changed and fed and held and all of that stuff. And it doesn't fucking matter whose kid it is. That baby needs parents right now.
Yeah.
And Dan is doing that. And Vanessa is doing that. And that baby would be much better off with grandparents right now. And Lily knows that. Lily is not focused on whose baby it is. She's focused on...
It's not hers.
It's not hers. So she's going to be a good parent.
While Dan is sleeping on the couch, Juliet lies to Vanessa, telling her that Dan still has feelings for her. Nate looks shocked at first, but decides to go along with it.
Nate. Just golden retriever Nate. He's just so played this whole episode.
Serena finds Ava's uncle and learns that Chuck/Henry has been working for him as a waiter. Serena begs for his help finding her missing stepbrother.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to be found. But Serena has to save the day, and
Right.
Serena has to go save Chuck because he could be in trouble.
Yeah.
But, like, doesn't realize that finding him, if he is in trouble, finding him is the thing that will put him in more danger.
At their apartment, Chuck dumps a bunch of cash out on the bed in front of Ava. They now have the money to get to India. When Serena knocks on the door, Chuck just plays dumb and acts like he's never met her.
Yeah, shuts the door right in her face, too. Damn.
Oh, Serena.
With her little O face.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the act break with Holy Bruce Wayne, Batman. It's one thing to hide who you really are. It's another to pretend you don't exist.
Yeah.
Act 3 begins. Blair is eating street food with Louis as they walk along the River Seine. Louis invites her to the ball tonight.
I love how this royal is out here walking with minimal security. I know there's like a dude with them, but there's like minimal security for this royal going to get street food, which I found interesting. Also, when
did you catch the beginning of the episode where Blair says she's trying to like prove she's not
she's of the people?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Oh, and he says the thing about like the drive through the countryside, and she looks disappointed at first until he says like for this big ball, and it's funny because it's like Blair, don't look disappointed at anything if you're like don't be like I don't want to see the fucking countryside.
So did you recognize the bridge?
Yeah, the lock bridge in
The Pont d'Art.
Yeah.
So that is a fairly recent tradition with the locks. It's not a Parisian tradition. It's Taurus.
That scans.
Which it started about 2008 and has been a serious like issue.
Yeah, I've heard that they like don't want people doing it.
They started like for a while they were like just cutting them off, and but people just kept putting about like millions, literally millions, and like 45 tons worth of locks have been removed. So finally, at some point, they replaced it with instead of having a chain link fence, there's like glass panels now.
So you can't do it.
But some artists have painted locks on there.
That skins. It skins. That's really funny though.
But the bridge has appeared in quite a bit of popular culture.
Yes, yeah.
Notably, the 1995 remake of Sabrina, which was, of course, originally in 1954 with Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn, right. Right. Oh, of course. Because the remake was Harrison Ford, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, I thought you said that so there were no locks. The lock tradition hadn't started by then.
No.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, too.
And it was also featured in the series finale of Sex and the City.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think I remember that. I think that might be the first time I knew about that bridge.
Dan wakes up and finds Vanessa has cooked him a feast. Dan, still exhausted, mixes up his feelings of friendship, gratefulness, and sexual attraction for Vanessa and decides to go to Pound Town.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a natural thing. And of course, Dan doesn't know that Vanessa has been given bad information.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that Dan doesn't also feel things. You know, Vanessa goes in for it and he goes right along with it.
He's been exhausted for weeks.
Yeah.
Vanessa shows up. She cooks all this food for him.
Yeah. Who was his girlfriend.
Care of his baby.
Yeah. And it was his girlfriend. You know, it's not like it makes a lot of sense, you know, even for them just to get back together. Like for Dan to be, there's absolutely no shade on any one of these two people for what happened here. And I'm kind of glad. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. Also, I want to point out that Lily said that she was leaving like 3 scenes ago. And I know she had to go shopping and everything first, but it does take an unusually long amount of time for her to get to the loft.
Serena is waiting outside for Chuck. She begs him to come home, but he informs her that he is on his way to get a new passport and that after today, there won't be a Chuck Bass anymore.
And Chuck, it's very dramatic, but I kind of get it. And Serena, just let him go. He's kind of an asshole.
Post-coitus, Dan learns the lie that Nate told Vanessa.
And you feel for Dan here, because, again, like, he didn't know that this was brought on by bad information.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the way everything turns out, he's glad it happened. But he feels shitty that, like, oh, man, she thinks we're getting back together, or she thinks there's something else here that I haven't really explored yet.
Blair is prepping for the royal ball, picking from amongst a full rack of gowns Louis has sent over. Serena starts to tell Blair about Chuck, but then says not to worry and enjoy her date. As Blair gets back to prepping, she doesn't see Serena. Gets an envelope delivered. Inside, a note from Chuck, along with his shares of the Empire and Bass Industries.
Yeah, and then Serena feels like she has to meddle even more.
It's her brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Isn't it?
Juliet is trying to find a hot blonde to be Nate's escort when Serena gets back in town. Nate is about to suggest Juliet herself when he gets an accusatory text from Dan.
Yeah, again, the way that Juliet is just playing Nate this whole time. And, like, for Nate to be like, oh, she won't be jealous of the person that you're picking out. She would only be jealous of someone like, oh, wait, like the shiny thing in front of me. It's so Nate to just to be so easily led into this.
I mean, he's been trying to flirt with her for,
since he met her. Yeah. Of course. Which is also really funny that he was trying to flirt with her and she's like following him around everywhere he goes from the beginning of this episode, from the end of last week when he shows up at Chuck's apartment with all of these women going crazy in there playing Rock Band. And then at the beginning of this episode, she's just hanging around. So, like, yeah, you're so dumb.
Blair is decked out in a gorgeous red Oscar de la Renta gown when one of Louis' manservants shows up to escort an excited Blair to Harry Winston for one final touch. Blair gets a text from Serena about Chuck, but decides to ignore it. Blair leaves her phone on the table, and Serena leaves a voicemail saying that Chuck is in real trouble.
He's not. He's not in any trouble at all. He's in no trouble. He's escaping all of his trouble. He's leaving. There's absolutely no trouble that Chuck is in. For the first time, Chuck is leaving because he isn't in any trouble. I also wanted to point out that both times that we watched this, Robin squealed when Blair was being told that she was being taken to Harry Winston. Both times.
Well, Gossip Girl has this to say about it. Spotted, one American leaving Paris. Au revoir, l'enfant terrible.
I wanted to mention something about Gossip Girl here, that I feel like these last two episodes, Gossip Girl has been playing a role more. The character of Gossip Girl, I feel, has been more present in these first two episodes than the tone that was set in the previous season. That Gossip Girl was kind of in and out of college, but we didn't rely on Gossip Girl for much of the character stuff that was going on. Whereas now the character in both episodes has been a little bit more forthright. And
right when this mysterious person shows up.
Right when this mysterious person shows up, yes.
And we get into Act 4. Serena gets a call from the inspector and has to go get something from him.
Yes.
Blair is at Harry Winston trying on a necklace when she spots a huge engagement ring. Serena and the inspector show up and explain that is Chuck's ring and that he got shot trying to protect it.
But Blair, why did you pick the weirdest necklace in the play? Like, I didn't think that went with that. She has this amazing dress. I didn't think that the necklace that she picked really went with the dress.
I liked it.
I thought it was too boxy and colorful, very colorful for.
It was the whole outfit was very fruity themed.
I can see that.
It was the dress was like one of those that old image of like the woman with the fruit on her head.
Yeah. That's fair. I see that.
Not fruity in not like that, like actual fruit.
Yeah.
Nate comes back to the loft and he and Dan let it all out. It turns out that Dan never even saw the text from Serena and that Nate got one too. Vanessa then comes out of the bedroom and learns that Nate lied to her and that Serena is after both the guys. Vanessa storms off and Lily shows up for the nursery makeover.
Great scene. I applaud Dan for just coming out with it. That there's, on Gossip Girl, there's a lot of times that like Vanessa comes out and asks the question, Dan doesn't cover. Dan's like, we both got this text from Serena and Nate lied to you. And there's no cover up. There's no lies.
Nope.
It's just, I'm really sorry. And like, I really don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking right now because I didn't know all of this information.
Now, if the show is ever going to explore some polyamory, this could be a good opportunity for it.
Robin and I said the same thing, that the best solution would be a throuple.
No, all four of them.
Or I was going to say, or all four of them, or all five of them.
Wait, who's the fifth?
Juliet.
Yeah,
for a little while.
She seems like she's evil.
Yeah. And Blair's single right now. Get her in the mix.
Serena tells Blair that Chuck has signed everything over to Lily and that Blair is the only one who can stop him from disappearing forever. Blair hesitates but says that she has a ball to attend. Serena follows Blair outside to a waiting Louis. When Serena gives Blair one last plea, Blair is caught looking between her and Louis as it cuts to commercial break.
Once again, this isn't Blair's responsibility. Like, let him go. Let Chuck go disappear. And obviously, the watcher of the show and the meta knowledge of the show, you can't just write Chuck off like that. But also, it's not like he's gone forever. He sold off his stuff. He'll be back.
Or if you really need to find him, you can find him.
Yeah, or if you really need to find him,
he doesn't have money anymore, so he can't hide anymore.
Yes, and he has a new passport. You just need to get his new name.
Yeah. Which you probably got from the bar guy.
Right. Yeah, my contact.
We go into Act 5. Dan and Nate grab a couple of beers and head up to the roof to hash things out.
I liked it.
A little bro time.
Yeah, a little bro time. I love that Dan doesn't hold a grudge, that he's just I love that Dan's whole persona right now is, I'm a little too exhausted to give a shit about anything else.
Yeah.
And
which makes sense.
It tracks. Yeah. I've been a dad 3 times over, and especially the first one where every sound they make, you go running because you don't know, because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
It is exhausting. And I had the luxury of working full time, right? My ex was the one staying home with the baby, who Bailey was on a terrible sleep schedule for their first 3-4 months of life. That while my ex would take care of Bailey more, it would still be keeping me up. And then weekends, it was mostly me. And I even still, even though I wasn't home with the baby, I was still up at night taking care of them a lot of the time. It's exhausting.
And in Dan's case, he's been alone for at least a few weeks now.
Yes, yeah, with the only help being Vanessa, who doesn't live there.
Sia's I'm Here begins to play as we see Blair exit a cab in her red gown. She runs past a confused Ava. Ava then sees Serena exit the cab and begins to figure out who Blair is.
And you feel for her. Because she's like...
I knew it was too good to be true.
Yeah, I knew, I'm about to run away with this guy. And what's also funny is that she sees this woman, just a random woman, go running by her in a dress and knows.
She knows when she sees Serena following her because she
Yes.
remembers her from before.
Right. And talks to Serena about it. And just the way that she pieces it together, you feel for her.
Yeah. The song continues, and Blair sees Chuck, and the two come together on the pedestrian bridge over the Paris rail. They have a heartfelt conversation, and when Blair returns the ring to Chuck, she then tells him, "I don't love you anymore, but it takes more than even you to destroy Blair Waldorf." Chuck responds, "Your world would be easier if I didn't come back." "That's true," she stutters, "but it wouldn't be my world without you in it."
God damn.
Amazing scene.
Yeah, I definitely got a little Gossip Girl in my eye watching that scene. It was strong. It was powerful. He talks about Lily, like how, I don't remember if he says it now or if he said it to Serena, about Lily being glad that he'd be gone.
Before.
Was it before? I actually meant to address that too, because Lily has fought so fucking hard for that relationship. But that line, "It wouldn't be my world without you in it." And let's also just talk about the cinematography of this scene. that these shots, the shadows on the faces and the beautiful background of the train station, it was just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And also the juxtaposition of country casual Chuck and royal ballroom Blair also just really made the colors of this scene really tie together, where she kind of echoed the colors of the station and he echoed the colors of the windows in the background. It's just brilliant design all around. Kudos to Eric Damon, and for, just how the costuming just tied into this beautiful scene so well too.
So you called Chuck's outfit country casual. Personally, I was thinking of it as with the cane, Jiminy Cricket.
Tiny Tim.
We move into the epilogue. Serena is back in New York and on the phone with Blair, who is still in Paris. Blair is still asking Serena who she is choosing.
Yeah, because she's got to get that Gossip Girl pull right.
Juliet apologizes to Nate for meddling in his life, and the two agree to be friends. Juliet says she also wants to apologize to Dan.
Which is, it's the most sus thing. But I'm sure it's probably only because of my meta knowledge, or because of the meta knowledge of just how the Gossip Girl universe acts. But I'd like to apologize to Dan too. Text him.
But I mean, that's something Nate would totally do.
Right.
Like, if they felt he was in the wrong, he would go to that person and say he was in the wrong.
Exactly. So it doesn't trigger. It doesn't set off any red flags to him.
Dan and Vanessa are walking in a park. Dan tells her that he's not thinking about Serena anymore and wants to be with Vanessa.
There's also a tiny bit of puppy dog in Dan, I feel sometimes. I think
he's a Labrador Retriever.
Yeah, he's a Labrador. Well, and men of that age, when they have the sex in front of them, tend to go to where the sex is.
And not just the sex, but also cooking for him, taking care of his kid.
Where it's
letting him getting a nap for the first time in like weeks.
Exactly. There's a lot that Vanessa is doing.
Yeah.
At the same time, they never broke up. He just kind of cheated on her with Serena, which it was a kiss, and slept in the same room together.
Yeah.
So it was something that I feel most couples could work through anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fact that Dan then had these lingering feelings that never got brought up and never got talked about, and it was just assumed we're not together. because
Vanessa didn't know about that because she, like, at first he was trying to call her and she wouldn't answer any of his calls. And then the last thing we saw was he was going to go after Serena, but then Georgina showed up.
Well, but I'm even talking about last week when Vanessa returns, right? That even then they're not getting back together. They're like, we had a split, but they never stopped to talk about their issues, which Dan says in this one, in this episode. But I wanted to also point out that Dan to stop and be like, you're the one I want. You're the one I want to be with. It's a decision, and it's decisive, and it makes sense. So I liked it.
See how long he sticks to it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Louie invites Blair to another event, but Blair declines, saying she has to go back to her real life. However, she does give him one of her shoes and tells him to come find her.
Why, Blair? Why do you need to go back to your real life, other than you just told Chuck to go back? But
because good for her. She wants to continue college because education has been an important thing for Blair.
Absolutely, her whole family lives in Paris, so it's not. She's
not Serena. She can't get into a good school in the last minute.
Oh, that's true.
School's about to start in like a week.
Yeah. Paris Community College.
And again, what's he doing? He can come to New York.
Yeah,
he's just a royal. He's just a life of leisure.
Yeah, which also it's really great. Which is why I like the whole come find me. I do like that aspect of it. The Blair's like, you come find me. Here's my shoe. You'll find me.
Yeah. Rufus finally comes to the loft now that all the work is done. He has finally relented and is ready to be a grandpa.
Yes. I really hope he doesn't lose the skepticism. I think that you do need to know who that baby's daddy really is and whether or not it's Dan's.
Well
yes, but we'll get there.
Serena shows up to the loft and greets her mom after a summer away. Then Dan shows up hand in hand with Vanessa, along with Nate and Juliet. Then Serena gets the shock of being introduced to Dan's son, Milo.
This might be one of my favorite Gossip Girl scenes so far. That the way that this whole scene, beat for beat, plays out was just kind of perfect. That Serena comes in, totally excited to see everyone, eager to have the conversation with Dan and Nate, which honestly felt like you were saying, look, boys, let's just all do this. Was really how it felt she was going to approach this situation. And she shows up ready to kind of have this talk with them. They both walk in coupled up. Yeah. And then, and here's a baby. And then Vanessa being like, you saw me 4 months ago. If you think that's mine, I'm offended. That line was great. Because she looks at Vanessa like, how the fuck did this happen? And Vanessa's like, clearly it's not me.
So yeah, since I did shit on the choreography for the earlier scene, I will give him props for this scene. First, like Dan, you see Dan first, she's like, hi, Dan. And Vanessa, and then she sees them holding hands.
Yeah.
And then Nate pops out from behind, and Nate's like, and then this is Juliet. She kind of like swings out too. So it's like one after the other, they kind of reveal each.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like everything about this scene, just the flow of it, the beat for beat, and even with Milo when he's revealed and then handed to Serena, and it's just really nice to kind of see Serena's whole world come crashing down around her like this after she's set it up. Mm-hmm. She's the one that said to Nate, she's the one that had a sus evening with Dan and then said to Nate, look, I know you forgave me, but I'm not getting back together with you. I need the summer apart, and then went and banged waiters and bartenders for the entire summer. No shame, no shade. I support her decision to do that, just like I supported Nate going to town on the little black book, but you both made these decisions.
Yeah.
And so for Serena to come back home expecting these two boys to be waiting for her, panting at the door, only to find them both booed up was... And Serena is in no way, shape, or form going to be that mother figure to another kid's baby.
No. Especially Georgina's baby.
No. That's the only thing she has going for her is that being Lily's daughter, she'll be a better mom to other people's kids. But there's no way that she has the capacity that Vanessa has to just be like, I'll play mom now.
Yeah.
Sure. She doesn't have that.
Blair gets a Gossip Girl blast about everyone losing the poll about who Serena will choose. Blair and Serena exchange texts while Serena fifth wheels it with Dan, Vanessa, Nate, and Juliet.
Beautiful. And Blair's irked that her poll got shot down, but it's beautiful.
Nate asks Juliet out on a date, but she says they give it a little time to breathe first.
Slow play. Or she's really just not into Nate, and it's all just a play. How can you not be into Nate, though? He's so dreamy.
Rufus finds Milo's blood type from the hospital ban and determines that it's not possible for him to be Dan's son.
Yeah, Lily, you should listen to this. It's not conspiracy theory. I am Team Lily on the fact that Milo needs, in this moment, parents to raise and love him. I also feel that they have the means that no matter whose baby this is, they can make sure that this baby has the best fucking life possible. So I really, yes, you should find out this information, but Lily, also be a little skeptical too. Both things are true.
Well, at this point, in Gossip Girl's universe, there's no need to be skeptical. I think they're saying it's a fact that that's not Dan's son now.
No,
which that's not how biology works, but
no,
because there's recessive genes. Otherwise, O blood type would have gone extinct.
Right. Yes.
If you can only get O from two O's, then it would have gone extinct by now.
Yeah.
After 10,000 years of history.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Just like left-handedness and brown eye or blue eyes, and yes, my mom was learning genetics in high school, and they told her that, and my mom was like, wait, my friend has, both their parents have blue eyes and he has brown eyes, and her science teacher said, well, looks like the mailman did it. So
damn.
Yeah.
American school system at work.
And then you don't need to learn any more science ever again, because it doesn't evolve and never changes.
Juliet is talking on the phone with someone and says things are going according to plan. She takes all the connections with Nate and Dan off her Serena murder board.
And just Serena left on the Serena murder board. So we get this idea that she's gunning for Serena. Now, let's go to episode 1, season 1, episode 1, when spotted Serena Vanderwoodson at Grand Central Station coming in back to New York. Do we know how long Gossip Girl was around before that?
I think it said they started in 8th grade. So
okay.
That would have been, they were in 10th grade. No, they were juniors. So they were 11. So that would have been like 9th, 10th. So 3 years.
3 years. So that's a little interesting because it does kind of target Serena a lot, right?
Well, she was the first post, canonically.
And she was canonically the first post, correct. And
yes, a 13-year-old in a see-through shirt was the first post.
Yes. Creepy.
Boy.
So I can see how they can still make us want to think that Gossip Girl is about taking down Serena. I believe that's what they want me to think right now.
Chuck, back in a full suit, finds Eva and apologizes for lying to her. Chuck invites Eva to come to New York with him in the style of Chuck Bass.
Yeah. Does she get in the car with him?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we see her get in or if she's still considering it. And I think this is one of his best I'm Chuck Bass. That like, look, you're going to be fine. I'm Chuck Bass. that it's not smarmy and it's not arrogant when he says it. It's inviting and it's meant to be comforting. For the first time, I'm Chuck Bass isn't so much a declaration of depravity as it is, I'm someone who can take care of you.
So Gossip Girl ends the episode with Dan spotted kissing Vanessa and Nate's early morning coffees with a new blonde. It looks like the oddsmakers have taken a beating. Serena Vanderwoodson will be walking into Columbia's campus single. This poll is now closed and nobody won. Just as every summer ends, all tourists come home. All dreamers wake up and new problems are born. And just like that, a pretty girl's ugly secret is revealed, but no matter what the new season brings, we'll always have Paris. Bisous, bisous, Gossip Girl.
It's also interesting that this last blast comes off more of a blast than narration, right? Because 3 seasons in, I've gotten to decipher the difference. And every now and then you get a narration that feels more like a blast, right?
Well, this definitely looks, you see Blair actually reading it.
And you see Blair reading it, yes. But I'm saying that you don't often see that, especially for like a closing, the closing bit. And I feel like the dagger in Blair's heart in this is Serena is going to school single. That now Serena once again is a competition for the men of Columbia. We'll go back to what Jaden said about the patriarchal writing of this show, which I have on many occasions blasted when Jenny's looking for a man for her status and all of these things. But it feeds into Blair Waldorf that she views her status in part by who is on her arm or whose arm she is on. And now her greatest competition that she was already mad is going to the same school is going in there single. So that's got to be weighing on Blair.
Yeah. And so you get the line at the end there, but no matter what the new season brings, we'll always have Paris.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, the Humphrey Bogart reference, but hopefully it's not foreshadowing meta things to come about this season being bad.
That's really funny because this season, the first 2 episodes were so good. We're so good. There has not been this good of a start to a Gossip Girl season yet. And that really, especially the last 2 seasons started outside of the Upper East Side. Yeah, we have a great start to this season. These first 2 episodes are great. And they were not entirely in New York like the last 2 seasons did. Only the last 2 seasons, you really missed New York. You really missed that Upper East Side, and you didn't. And probably because they were in the bougiest parts of Paris, still kind of living that Upper East Side attitude. But yeah, these are just 2 really solid episodes. But also, I could see how they can fuck this up so badly. So badly. And I was even saying to Robin this morning that this show, I'm always hearing about how it just takes a steady decline from the beginning, but really after season 3.
Yeah, a lot of people quit in season 4.
Wow. Oh boy. We always have Paris.
Yes, we'll always have Paris. Any predictions?
Oh, I've got predictions. First of all, I predict that Juliet is not Gossip Girl. I predicted in episode 1 that it was Chuck. I know that they don't even know right now, and the writers may think she's Gossip Girl right now, and they just change their minds in 5 episodes. I don't believe this is Gossip Girl. I feel like this show, Gossip Girl is sexist, right? Gossip Girl is often body shaming and slut shaming women and putting women down and having women fight each other. I cannot help but feel that Gossip Girl is a man. That is just, but
that's all things Blair does too. Though, so.
It is things that Blair does, but I don't believe Blair is Gossip Girl.
No.
Right?
But a woman obviously.
A woman can obviously do it.
Yeah.
A woman can do anything.
Including being a misogynist.
Yes, including being misogynist and including being anti-feminist. I absolutely agree with that. I feel like the level that Gossip Girl goes to, and maybe I'm being sexist. Maybe it's me thinking that men are more likely to go at women like this. And maybe that's my own sexism too. But I never get the feel that it's a woman. There's this big part of me that feels like it's going to still be Chuck in the end. That like now just right here where we are, even though all the shit that Gossip Girl has put Chuck through, I still wouldn't be surprised for it to be Chuck in the end and just ignore all the times when it clearly couldn't have been. Because I feel like that's going to have to be in the end of this show. That in the end of this show, they're going to have to ignore whoever it is. You're going to have to ignore shit.
Who is she talking to? Juliet? Was she talking to Gossip Girl?
That was my other question. Well, that was my one.
Was she talking to Holland Campbell?
Oh, Jesus. I hope she was not talking to Holland Campbell. I was actually kind of hoping we never saw that actor again, but I don't know. I'm sure she can stir up trouble somewhere. She could have been talking to Georgina, too. Did you tell me Georgina's gone forever? Oh, I think you did, but then you recanted it. Yeah.
I was just joking.
Yeah. So it could have been Georgina, and it could be tied into this whole Georgina shit. But she could have been talking to Gossip Girl. I just feel like they're so thirsty for me to believe that this is Gossip Girl that I can't believe it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
I do. My other big prediction, we're going to find out about the baby. We're going to realize that the baby is not Dan's. I'm kind of predicting that either Rufus and Lily raise Milo anyway, or they have a baby. I feel like there's been so much baby stuff and Lily being so into this baby that I could see them either having a baby or raising Milo. I could see Milo then becoming like a part of the show, especially if it gives Rufus and Lily something to do. I think it would be very intrusive for it to be Dan's kid. So I don't think that has much to stand on.
Well, like I said, in Gossip Girl's universe, I think that was the blood type was conclusive evidence that it's not Dan.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree. And I also feel like there is the side of this that the morality of the Gossip Girl universe is that baby's not Dan's, so you don't have to have anything to do with it.
Curve.
Just like, just drop it off at the nearest adoption agency. Just leave it on a doorstep at the fire station of the Upper East Side. Like, despite the fact that you could make sure that this kid has the best fucking life possible.
Well, any other predictions?
I think that the love triangle between Dan, Nate, and Serena is still going to kind of flutter around. I'm worried that Serena's just going to go full ham and try to, like, interrupt those relationships because she's going to be mad that no one's paying attention to her.
Sounds like a Serena move.
Sounds like a Serena move. Or Serena and Chuck. I think that could happen. I think that there's a little bit of room for that now. Yeah, it's disgusting, but I think there's a door.
Oh, on that note, let's get into segments.
Yeah.
This week in fan, we hopped in the Wayback Machine to travel to the fan forums from 2010.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
Overall, it was a good episode. They really liked it.
Yeah, it is. Solid.
Ed and Leighton were amazing in the train station.
Yeah. Dude, Leighton's acting, the shit that she can do with her face just blows me away. And there are looks that she gives throughout this. Probably her best one is when Serena convinces her to go to the train station and has that look of like, why are you turning my world upside down like this? And amazing.
For me, it was when she heard Chuck was shot.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And where her whole,
Chuck was shot?
Yeah, her whole demeanor just changes. Yeah. Absolutely incredible work on her part.
They love that Serena was so worried about Chuck.
Yeah. She's worried about her brother. I don't think that anything Serena did, all of my trashing Serena and how she handled this, once again, is not out of character for Serena. And very much Serena believes Chuck needs to be saved and that she has to be the one to help to convince Blair to save him. I don't think Chuck needed to be saved. I think everybody's better off if he goes to India. But I do believe that Serena was good in this with how she handled Chuck.
They're desperate to find out who Juliet was talking to.
Yeah, very interested. Who would be after Serena like that is the big question.
Yeah. Not mad at Nate, just disappointed.
Yes. So pretty, so dumb.
Daddy Dan is adorable.
Yeah. Totes.
For some reason, there was a lot of hate for Serena's blue pants.
Interesting.
They were kind of ugly.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of intrusive and very blue, but I'm also, yeah. It didn't bother me, but I get it, especially if you're looking more.
And finally, there's mixed feelings on Eva.
Yeah, she has not yet brought a lot to the table in terms of character. Here's another thing that I left out in the predictions, and it's more of a question. Why the fuck didn't she take him to a hospital? I don't... Now, it could be they were off in the middle of the countryside in Prague where he washed up somewhere, was dumped or whatever, but it seems like he was found on a city street and she took him home and nursed him. Yes. So she did not take him to a hospital. So why not? So there is something shady, possibly. Do they just want us to ignore that, or is there something there? And that's something that I'm very curious about.
We shall see.
Yeah, because like they're saying, being on the fence about her, like I said, they haven't given us a lot about her character, only that she wants to bang Chuck all the time, but that's a lot of women who want to bang Chuck all the time. And that she's willing to follow him anywhere. Mm-hmm. But if she knows he's got the cash, then of course she's going to be willing to follow him anywhere. So is she up to something, or is she legit?
Moving over to episode grades. Like we've been saying, great episode. The train station scene, one of my all-time favorite scenes from the show. And yeah, just a lot of emotion. Soundtrack was great. Choreography was great. And I like the Dan and Nate stuff as well. Like how they were a little schemy there by Nate, but they broed out at the end.
Yeah.
So I gave this episode an A.
Yeah, I'm meeting you there. Pretty much all the same reasons. I feel like it wasn't flawed. Even last week, where the New York stuff felt a little weaker than the Paris stuff, I felt even the New York stuff was stronger this week. That Nate and Dan storyline. So yes, I'm gonna meet you there with an A.
Yeah, my headcanon is that Josh Safran didn't have to help as much with Sarah Goodman as he had to do
with Stephanie Savage.
Yes. So he had more time to focus on the New York stuff.
Yeah.
Moving to stock watch. Going up, I had Dan because, he got a nap for the first time ever, and he got, food made for him. He got laid, and, he didn't do anything wrong. He was, just going with the flow.
Absolutely.
I had Juliet going up because her ski seems to be working perfectly.
Perfectly.
I had Lily going up because she was a good grandma. I had Chuck going up because he's, recognizing that he was a terrible person and he's trying to be better. Blair going up because she's moving on and, she had her little, date with the prince and he seems to be, he seems like he's into her pretty much. But she's, thinking about her, her stuff. She's still sticking with the college. I had Eva going up because she's going from being a peasant to being living on the Upper East Side. Yeah. But that is it for going up.
I believe I had all of the same ones. Dan, like you said, for all of the stuff that he's done in this episode. I had Lily going up. I have Chuck and Blair going up for their realizations and for where they've come to. I had Ava coming up for, rags to riches. I had Juliet going up because her scheme seems to be working. I have Vanessa going up. Did you have Vanessa going up? I have Vanessa going up because I think that she really was great with Dan and that she and Dan end up together in the end of this and seem very happy. So I have her going up. Yes, I believe that is everyone I had going up.
Going down, I had Serena because, well, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I had Rufus going down because he was a pouty baby. Even though he is on the right, I'm still putting him down because he was just such a pouty little baby.
I almost gave him an up because he got there in the end, but then didn't really. And I
had Vanessa going down because I just can't see this working out for her. She's going to get chewed up and spit out.
I think that I can see that happening, but I feel like at the end of this episode, that's where she ends up.
She did, yeah. She ended up kind of where she wants to be, but she was lied and manipulated into that spot.
Yeah.
And same thing with Nate. He kind of ended up where he wanted to be, but he was lied and manipulated, so he's going down as well.
Yes.
Who do you got?
So I'll start with Nate, because Nate I did have going down because he got played this whole episode and is continuing to get played. Whereas I felt like Vanessa was lied to, but she wasn't I don't feel like she was manipulated by Dan. So I'm going to keep her where she is, where I had her.
She was manipulated by Juliet.
By Juliet, yeah. I'm going to keep Rufus neutral because I felt like he kind of got there in the end, so I'm not going to give him the down. But Serena for just losing it all. And that last scene was so great. It's probably my favorite, Serena getting dumped on moment. No one even dumped on her. I think that is it. Nate, Serena, and yeah, I think just those two I had going down.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Best outfit, no surprise here.
Yeah,
Blair's red Oscar De La Renta.
Yeah, there is absolutely zero competition in this episode. It is, and it's funny because you told me that one of her best dresses was in this episode before I left last week. And, I'm waiting for it. And Robin and I at the same time, when she first has that reveal, it's just breathtaking. So, yeah, there's absolutely no doubt that sorry, Rags, Chuck. This one goes to Blair.
Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket.
That is it for segments. You got anything you want to plug this week?
I do. So I am about to become a professional dungeon master. So if you are interested in D&D and learning how to play, I will be working through a site called Start Playing, and go ahead and you'll be able to find me and join games that I am running. And if you're not interested in D&D, tell people that are, because this seems like it should be a neat gig for me. So startplaying.com.
Sounds fun. If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram or Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. You can find the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And you can find links to our Discord and our Patreon server on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you would like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say. Please feel free to send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And we would love to read what you have to say right here on the show and hear your thoughts. Also, if you could hit that like button, that subscribe or follow button, and please leave us a comment on this episode that you're listening to. It really helps us with our visibility in Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And finally, if you could go ahead and tell your friends what you're listening to, make us your water cooler talk this week and get other folks in on the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod and get them here at our Non-Judging Breakfast table.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 4, Episode 3, The Undergraduates. The episode description reads, on her first day at Columbia, Blair attempts to gain membership into an ultra-exclusive social club, Hamilton House. But she's in for a few big surprises.
New society. I guess not a secret society. Ooh, secret society.
Ultra exclusive.
Ultra exclusive. I can't wait, Blair. Also, The Graduate, one of my favorite. Well, I shouldn't say one of my favorites now because so many other movies have kind of come and gone, but I love that movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm also wondering.
Very misinterpreted ending.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That does not look like joy in his eyes on that bus. But I do wonder how that's going to play in to this.
We shall see.
Yeah. I mean, someone dating someone way out of their age range doesn't seem likely.
Well, until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you